What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Stix and welcome back to your weekly Gacha recap, a video series where I talk about everything going on in the Gacha genre that mattered to me over the course of the last week in one easy to digest format. And let me just start this off by saying this week was quite the freaking week, or last week rather. It was an absolute catastrophe, utter chaos, and I've been documenting every instance of this over the course of like the last 5-6 days. If you have not already, then I strongly urge you to go ahead, navigate on over to my channel, look at the Infinity Nikki video I did, the Black Beacon video I did, the Hoyo video, followed by the Infinity Nikki video I did, followed by the Black Beacon video, followed by the Infinity Nikki video I did, because this is unraveling and becoming one of the most fascinating set of stories in the Gacha genre, period. And it has been an absolute pleasure to have been covering it. And the best part about all this, it gets even worse. So, with this in mind, if you have not already, join my subreddit where we're covering all of this and where I react to everything posted. We're at 723 members so far. Subscribe to the channel so you keep up to date with everything that's unfolding. And come on over and watch me stream on Twitch or alternatively on YouTube. I will be streaming at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. It's a couple hours after this video goes live, where we're looking at even more Infinity Nikki, Black Beacon, and the new Magica, Magia, etc. drama. The Gacha genre right now is exploding, or imploding rather, onto itself. Let's go ahead here and jump right in because we have a lot to talk about. King's Raid is officially being relaunched by Masong Soft. This is an absolute horseshit developer, horseshit publisher. I would not trust them to save a game if it was the last possible thing that the game could do to survive. Genuinely, this game right now is dead on arrival, even if it doesn't arrive. This is the worst thing that could have happened to King's Raid. Concerning Infinity Nikki, this is what has happened up until this point. And once again, this does get worse, and I will be covering what has happened in the last 24 hours over on stream. Do not miss it. But here's a TLDR of what has happened up until this point. Infinity Nikki, with its most recent 1.5 update, decided, you know what, we're gonna increase the base pity or outfits to 220. They increased the total number of outfits from, I think it was like 10 to 11. This means that you need additional pity to obtain the additional piece, which means that it costs more money. That is disgusting and scummy and predatory. Players were not happy with this, but the 1.5 update in specific had so much wrong with it. They were scamming people out of their Steam rewards. Originally, you were supposed to get a 10 pull for hitting 100,000 wish list. They changed this to a 2 pull at 100,000, said you have to hit 200,000 for your 10 pull. They did fix this and address it later and gave everyone their 10 pull at 100,000, but still, they tried to stealth nerf it, stealth nerf your rewards, which goes to show you the kind of developer that they are. The launch day was a catastrophe. The PlayStation players, the mobile players were all locked out of play. They introduced a major patch and event, the Sea of Stars, which had very little in terms of like real genuine content other than the same very repetitious, arduous dailies that you could do. Even my wife, Mrs. Stix, is bored to tears. They retconned the entire introduction. I made a tweet about this. This was covered over on Reddit as well. They removed all the incredible cutscenes, all the incredible story that led up to this. So much important lore that was integral to the game overall was just gutted, and they said, you know what, yeah, fuck it. And then after that, they decided to introduce a bathtub item that cost $70? Absurd. I know, but you did get it at a 79% discount for the low cost of, I think it says $10, but I think when I checked it was like $14. The dying system has a new currency, which is easy to obtain if you spend real money. They nerfed the free-to-play income for players. They gave a half-assed apology where they've said, we know you guys are having issues. We know that technically we shouldn't, we're in the wrong here. We should not have raised the pity. But now that it has been raised, we're just gonna leave that here. You guys will have to pay more money. Yeah. So China, global, absolutely livid, and it's entirely warranted. Then players decided we're gonna boycott the game now because this isn't fair to us as players. So the Infinity Nikki, being the absolute morons that they are, they said we're gonna ban the term boycott on all of our official platforms, Discord, social media in general. And then Infinity Nikki players thought, you know what? Okay, that's fine. You want to do that? You want to be a dick, a huge dick? Fine. Yeah. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hashtag girlcott. And they did. And it caught the attention of mass media. I covered this in a tweet. I've been documenting this entire thing via tweets. And now it's become quite the hot topic, and they can't hide from this, which is great. To end this up until this point, once again, we have more to cover today on stream, but to end at this point, Infinity Nikki is now down to a 2-star rating from 4-point-something stars 1 week ago. It is down to 2 stars now and continuing to drop by the day. By the time this video gets uploaded, which is about 14 hours from now, I guarantee you it's gonna be at 1.9. Before we go any further, I do want to take a moment here to thank all of my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, and I genuinely cannot thank you all enough for the support. Scarlet Tide ZeroERA has released a full gameplay demo. I've actually not seen this, but I guess I'll go ahead and look at this on stream. But for those of you that were interested, I did cover this video this game a little while ago. It's a very interesting game targeting a very specific demographic of player. Fellow Moon is holding a closed beta test. No global version has been announced yet. There is a Japanese link here. For those of you that are interested, you can go ahead and apply, sign up. I know you're looking at this character and you're like, holy shit, Stix. She is absolutely packing in personality. Yeah, I know, and it's great. I've been covering this game for a while now, and I think it looks very cool. I can't wait to actually get to play it. Hoyoverse is getting sued because a villain company in Zenless Zone Zero has the same name as a company IRL. And it's not even the same name. When I looked into this, it's only a similar name. Half the name is the same. The company's name in the game is Vision, and then the company's name IRL is InVision. I cannot make up how absolutely absurd this is as a topic, but at the same time, this makes sense. I gotta feel sorry for the company here, because they are the reason they are attacking Hoyo is because they think that Hoyo is essentially ruining their reputation as a studio, when the reality is they're doing it to themselves with this ridiculous lawsuit that is fucking insane. My God, dude. Heaven Burns Red, though, in more positive news, is holding an Angel Beat collaborative event on May 16th. I have not played Heaven Burns Red yet. I need to, I do, but I did watch all of Angel Beats. That was such a good anime. That was such a depressing, that was really, really upbeat and very happy, and I loved every second of it, just like Madoka Magica, just like Attack on Titan, both really good, very precious anime that have characters that just really genuinely need to be protected. Mongil Star Drive is holding its first closed beta test, and recruitment is currently open. I reacted to this on stream. I guess I'll upload a video with this probably the next 24 hours of gacha games that were announced recently that I think that I'm personally kind of looking forward to. If you guys want to wait and take a look at that, honestly, it's a pretty cool looking game. Another really cool looking game is Dragon Sword. This is from the original Dragon Nest devs. I'm sure a lot of you have played Dragon Nest. It was like a hub-based PC MMO. This right here is an action RPG. Closed beta or the pre-registration for closed beta is confirmed for May 8th. This is being published by Webzen, which I'm a little concerned with because I don't like Webzen at all. I think they're a trashy studio company, as a whole have ruined so many really good games. Stella Sora has closed beta test recruitment open, or the closed beta test, I think. The closed beta recruitment starts April 28th, ends May 16th. It is playable on PC and Android. I guess I'll go ahead and apply for this. I'm curious. The devs actually sponsored a video a while ago, and maybe I can just reach out to them and obtain direct access. You know what? You guys convinced me. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and attempt here to obtain access so I can do a dedicated video on it and let you guys know whether you should play it. Because I mean, that's one of the reasons that I have this channel for, right? In Honkai Star Rail, they've begun drip marketing for both Saber and Archer. Two absolutely incredible characters. Saber, of course, has actually caused a bit of hysteria because people are looking at her and they're saying, but in Fate Stay Night, she had, in Fate Zero and everything, she has armor. Why did you make her sexy? And honestly, like, I have mixed opinions about this, okay? Because on the one hand, I loved Saber. I loved Saber in Fate Stay Night, a little bit of Blade Works. I love Saber in Fate Stay Night, the OG from like 2002 or 4 or whatever. I love Saber in Fate Zero. I mean, I was kind of, you know, more of a fan of Reen, but I loved Saber. I did. Really cool character, absolutely phenomenal character. But I honestly don't care. See, I remember her taking her armor off and walking around in an outfit just like that. I don't remember if she had a short skirt. I think it might have been longer, like a longer dress or something. So that might be a little more lewd than I remember. I don't know, but let's be honest here. The source material is much more lewd than anything that we're gonna get in the game. Either way, I have mixed opinions because I think her design there looks awesome, and I remember her wearing an outfit like that in the anime. But at the same time, I also really loved her armor. So, like, for me, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. I'm happy. I'm happy getting just Saber. This right here might genuinely make me return to Honkai Star Rail. I haven't played since 1.1, so this might actually make me return. Maybe I'll stream my adventure through it. I don't know. Archer also looks really cool, but then Archer always does. Now let's move on to the Black Beacon drama. Black Beacon had a launch in China that was several weeks after Global. Global essentially tested the waters, were kind of like launch testers, almost like a beta tester for China's launch, and we had a lot of bugs. China had the same bugs essentially that we as Global had. We got given, I think it was 20 or 30 standard polls that expired after 48 hours. China received 20 limited polls and 10 standard, I think, or maybe 30 limited, I don't remember, and a free 5-star selector. This compensation for 1 day's worth of issues. We, after having like 20 something days worth of issues, got another 10 standard as compensation. So, I mean, you know, that upsets some people. It did, because at the end of the day, they're playing favorites. If China and Global are having the same issues, and China gets compensated in one way, Global should also get compensated in that way. If China gets a free 5-star, Global gets a free 5-star. And you know what happens here? Both communities are happy. The game continues doing well. Everyone enjoys themselves. But they're like, nah, fuck you, Global. China, here you go. I love you guys. And then people were like, you know what, maybe, even myself, I defended them here and I said, you know what, no. Just give them a chance, be civil, let them cook. I'm sure they're good. Nope. What they said was absolutely nothing. What they said was, in this entire apology, this address, they said, don't worry, we have some cool updates coming in the future. Yep, thanks, Charles. Great job, man. Great job. Awesome. Now I reached out to the devs, the global team rather, not the devs themselves, the global team that I've been working alongside for months now. And these are people that always replied within hours of me messaging them, and have been very professional, very kind, very considerate. And they have been offline now, as of today, for over 6 days. 6 whole days. They've not replied. They've not logged in. They've not said a single word. That is very concerning to me, because by the time this goes live, we might be at day 7. It's just, it continues to get worse and worse. China hits #1 on the Play Store. They get rewarded with more. Awesome. Get another 10 polls, sure. Players are very angry, start leaving lots of negative reviews. Then, because players were leaving negative comments on Discord asking for stuff to be addressed, the community managers, whoever is in charge of the Discord, decided to enact a slow mode, stopping people from spamming criticisms. So instead of communicating with us and just saying, hey guys, we know you're frustrated, there's a lot going on, don't worry, we are working on it, which would have sated the entire community, they decided to penalize us for being vocal. Yep. Awesome. And then, much like Infinity Nikki, the state of Black Beacon right now, 2 stars. And things get even worse. Once again, guys, things get even worse. And you know what? We're gonna cover that live today on stream. I urge you to come on over, see what's going on, because this is gonna be a lot of fun. I've been enjoying documenting everything happening. The rise and then potential fall of 2 incredible gacha games that both happen to have released in just the last several months. Real quick, as a small addendum to the Black Beacon segment, I woke up this morning and there was an update made. Finally, after a week of silence, the Black Beacon devs did announce there is going to be a synchronized compensation where Global does get a 5-star permanent character, additional limited pulls, etc., etc. So I will give them this. They did finally, after a week of complaining, give us something. This is exactly what we wanted, but I'll also point out that it took this long to achieve this. And admittedly, a lot of players are still very upset because at the end of the day, they still did show that we as global players are essentially second-class citizens. You guys already showed your true colors. You see global as nothing but second class. Why would I reinstall a gacha game I already deleted? You've basically killed any goodwill the community would give you. I think this is a great step in the right direction to restoring and establishing the goodwill, trust, faith in your community. But at the same time, a lot of the damage has still been done. With this in mind, I think it's still very much so worth reporting on what happened. And I'm still going to cover not only exactly what has happened, what is going on here, but also the other stuff that they did wrong leading up to this today on stream. And finally, Wuthering Waves released patch 2.3, the anniversary patch, and it has had a ton of stuff to do. The Zani patch, the story was actually very cool. Had one of the coolest cinematic cutscenes, not even like a pre-rendered cinematic, it's one of the coolest cutscenes in WoWA history. They launched onto Steam. They hit the top trending games and remained in the top trending games for literally an entire week and are absolutely killing it still. And that is it. That is everything that mattered to me over the course of the last week. You're now up to, well, semi up to date because I have a lot more to cover on stream. You're welcome. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.